Yeah, I'm not gonna front here. I played the beta of Monster Hunter Wilds. I said when Monster Hunter Wilds come out, that should be the time that a bunch of games drop so I can make content for the channel. I played the beta. The performance was really, really, really bad. And you got people on Twitter who are defending and they're saying, "Oh, that's not the full game. The full game's not released." Listen, bro. People who's been gaming for quite some time, we know that when a game is in beta or whatever alpha, whatever terms that they want to use, things don't really change on the performance end. For the most part, it never works that way. If you are playing a game and it's in beta and the game is supposed to be released a month later or 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, you're pretty much playing the fucking game that you're going to get when you pay for it. Yeah, and don't get me wrong. It's not like I would say when it comes down to fighting games and you get a fighting game, back in the day when you got a fighting game, you knew what you were getting. You were getting the best version of whatever that game was until they made a new game a year or 2 years later. Nowadays, when you buy a fighting game, you can expect that it'll get better, it'll change, it'll get optimized because you know you're when you buy a fighting game, you're paying for the worst version of that game when it first comes out. This is just a fact. Monster Hunter, made by Capcom. Street Fighter, made by Capcom. Street Fighter, what was it, 6? Oh, Street Fighter 5, people didn't like it when it first came out. No, people liked it, then people didn't like it, then people liked it towards the end when the game was already out for 4 years. Monster Hunter should be a very smooth experience, but apparently the engine that they are using, it's not the RE engine, which is the Resident Evil engine. It's the Shoot for the Moon engine. You fucking idiots! But it is a, I like the RE engine, I do, but it does not work well with an open world Monster Hunter game. It just doesn't. I mean, that's what I've been told, so I'm just gonna say it. It just doesn't. I'm seeing a lot of people struggling to even get 50 FPS, which is bad. It's real bad. All we wanted was world, but bigger. That's all we wanted. We have, we have, hmm, hmm. This word eludes me. We have the GPU and CPU and processor power. I'm putting all these words together. Somebody help me figure out what the fuck word I'm trying to use here. We have the equipment in this day and age to get a good Monster Hunter game, right? A, a Team A good Monster Hunter game. Because let's be real, Monster Hunter World, which was the most highest selling Monster Hunter game for good reason, because but it was also an experiment. It was a project. They didn't think it was going to do well. Monster Hunter does not do well in the United States. But they saw, hey, people actually do like Monster Hunter when we actually put our backs into it. Monster Hunter World, as great as it did, was an experiment. It was so much of an experiment that when it blew up in Capcom face, oh shit, they really like this shit. They quickly scrambled to make Iceborne. Imagine playing a game called Monster Hunter where your whole goal is getting elements, killing monsters, carving them, making equipment out of them to fight bigger monsters. And all these monsters got elements and they got elements and status effects, and you're using their weaknesses to fight bigger monsters to get their equipment so you can fight bigger monsters with status effects. And they don't even have an ice water monsters. Think about that. This was not supposed to be a game. Monster Hunter World was not a game that they expected to blow up the way that it did. And if they wanted to continue with that success, all they had to do was bring out more monsters. They didn't even have to make Monster Hunter Wild. They could have made another expansion. They could have made another expansion to Monster Hunter World. Not saying I don't appreciate a new game now. It's been enough time. But if they actually had planned a bigger expansion, which instead of the original, how many monsters were there? Like 20, 22? And then Iceborne added probably like 14. I'm not exactly sure. But let's say they would have added an additional 22, and there's enough monsters in the Monster Hunter ecosystem to do such things. People would be playing Monster Hunter World. They're still playing Monster Hunter World right now. That's all that it is. But instead, Capcom wanted to force people to play Rise, which I can't stand Rise. I don't like it. I don't want nothing to do with Rise. It's too goofy for me. I already played Monster Hunter Portable Third, which was the aesthetic was already there. I wanted the Japanese aesthetic. I played Monster Hunter Portable Third. I'm not into the weeb shit. Monster Hunter Rise is weeb shit, but it doesn't mean that the game can't exist. But trying to force people who played World to play Rise and acting like they're two of the same thing is not right. They both can exist, just like Monster Hunter stories can exist. There's no reason why you can't have both. But this is the mainland Monster Hunter game. This is Monster Hunter 5. I'm hoping that my computer can handle it and we're all gonna see it at the same time. Which I'm wondering if because I'm recording, if it's actually going to suffer a bit more. But at the same time, if I'm gonna be streaming this game, we need to put it through some stress tests. And this game is coming out in 2 more weeks. And if we get a good FPS, then I guess I'll buy the deluxe edition. And it looks like it's happening. All right, here we go. Enable frame generation. Fuck no. Let's get it. We don't do that frame generation shit over here. I'm not exactly sure how loud the Monster Hunter. Oh shit. I'm not exactly sure how loud. Hold up. I'm not sure how loud the actual thing is here, so I'm gonna just be on the safe side and throw that at a 10. I'm gonna throw the audio at a 10. All right, benchmark. Let's go. Oh shit, I didn't change the graphics. You already know that shit is like maximum, maximum, maximum. Hey, my computer just up and scream and die. Which my computer's been acting up. If you have a Windows 11 computer and it's been crashing a lot more often, you probably.
As soon as we find a good spot, we can get things set up and ready to go. And then
So 70, 60.
This is gonna be great.
You bet.
Yeah. I hope we find them soon.
60. I'm not happy about that.
Look!
Ooh, did you see that dip?
There's so many.
They're exceptionally agitated. Could they be chasing something?
It's a person. Bring us closer.
And crash right into them!
We're still too far away. What do we do? Hold on. What's that?
That's all right.
I'm not liking that.
Can you reach it?
I have to try.
I'm coming too.
Ugh.
Booyah! Nice.
So it's sitting on 60 FPS. And the thing is, you have people on Twitter that are like defending this type of shit. And it's just like, man, all people wanted was more biomes in World to make the weapons look cooler, more gems if that's what we were gonna do. You know? That's what people wanted. I mean, they're trying to do this shit with this fucking bird bird. I don't know what this thing is. Don't get me wrong, I don't like it. You know, but people didn't like the wire bug. I mean, not the wire bug. The what was the gauntlet that they had in World? People didn't like it. I didn't care for it too much. And now we at 58. I'm gonna tweak the settings to the way that I play these type of games because there's certain things that I will turn off, things that actually like eat resources that I never turn on. It doesn't matter how good my specs are. I just would never have these things on. So things like motion blur or certain type of like volumetric fog, shit like that, I would just turn those off. Bro, ain't no way I'm not even hitting 60. Like a friend showed me his score. What was it? Like he said his benchmark was decent. It was 40 to 50. And that's absolutely playable, but if you're trying to make content, or you're trying to record or stream, mind you, bro, right now all there is sand and one character model, well, three character models. And that shit is at a fucking 50. Well, now it's 70, but that shit is, man. So right now you got the Capcom Glazers that are just like extremely happy for what they're getting. But these are the same people who tried to shit on World for Rise. So I mean, I don't fuck with those people. Oh, my favorite excuse is, "Oh, I can tell you're just a world player. This is your first Monster Hunter was Monster Hunter World." It's like, bitch, nah, my first Monster Hunter was Freedom Unite. I outrank you by generations. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh no! What the fuck am I looking at? That shit, it's in the 20s, bro. It's in the 15. It's hitting 15. That shit turned into a PowerPoint presentation. This shit is not even hitting 20. All they had to do was polish up World. That's all they had to do.
Welcome. Please
Go ahead. Help yourselves.
And what is this Indian ass fucking Indian ass centric ass Monster Hunter, bro? Bro, ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way, bro. Even my mouse doesn't feel good on the screen. What the fuck, bro? That's terrible. And yeah, there's gonna be like some NVIDIA update and all of that shit. But I mean, come on, bro. Where's the settings at? Let's change using a large amount of okay, sure. Hold up. So there's no full screen? Okay, sure. That is weird. I don't use HDR. Fuck that. All right. All right, let's mess with some stuff. Custom. Sure, because it's gonna change anyway. Cutscenes graphics. What? Do not adjust separately. So cutscenes. So was it switching between cutscenes, the actual in-game engine? Was that what was happening there? NVIDIA DLSS or AMD FSR. So they do have that, which is cool. That's great. Sure. whatever. Frame generation disabled, upscaling mode balanced, ray tracing off, texture. So all of this stuff is just mesh quality, fur quality. Turn that shit down. We learned the hard way back in the day when NVIDIA hair works. You know, that gimmick that they were saying was like the best thing since sliced bread. We learned the hard way. Tree sway, sure. Wind simulator quality. Anything that goes on medium, I kind of always put things on medium. Surface quality, water effects, sure. Render distance. Um, Shadow quality, I always put that shit at medium. Shadow quality is a big resource eater, like huge. Distance shadow quality, I'm not gonna touch that. Shadow distance, sure. Ambient light, I never really care for those. Ambient occlusion, always turn that off. Don't care about that. I'm a little bit worried here because what I'm seeing is there's not enough things that I'm changing that should be making like that will probably make a difference. Like this is probably like 7 FPS more than average. Volumetric fog, fuck it, turn that down. Variable rate shading. So here's my thing. Depth of field, I don't care for that either. Like these are really small things, and I don't even think that this is really gonna change shit. Anything that can go on medium, I just turn it to medium. Here's my thing that I'm kind of worried about. Cutscene graphics. Can I change that like slightly? Like probably medium? Because what I'm thinking is happening, and I may be wrong. It seems as though the cutscenes is trying to render in completely different settings, even though it says that it's the same. But it seems as though when it's switching between in-game and cutscenes, maybe I don't know. Fuck it, I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it, and my brain is just like it should be better than this. That's what my brain says. My brain says that it should be a stable number, and it's not. Like I'm not sitting here saying it should be straight 60 across the board, which that's what you would like. But fuck, we hitting
As soon as
15s?
we find a good spot,
Hell
we
nah,
can get
buddy.
things set up and ready to go. And then we can get started.
This is gonna be great!
You bet.
Yeah.
I hope we find them soon.
Looks the same to me.
Look! I depart! Aye!
That shit said good. Most FPS 50. Get the fuck out of here, bro. That shit is unacceptable. Oh, let me read the comment of some shit stain on Twitter,
Could they be chasing
right?
something?
This is the shit. There was a shit stain on Twitter that said this.
It's a person!
So people were complaining about the fact that their FPS is really low. And a shit stain on Twitter said, simply why I never care about PC gaming, man. It always runs into issues and the PC gamers will bitch and cry because their expensive rig can't handle what a console can. PC gamers
That's alright.
complain because their expensive rigs can't handle what a console can. This is the type of individual who thought that a PlayStation 5 was going to go toe to toe with with even the 40 series graphics cards. It's fair criticism, but Jesus, you might as well buy a console for cheaper to play your games. There's not a goddamn thing cheaper about buying console to play video games. You're a fucking idiot.
Nice.
So this isn't this where exactly where it started dropping really bad? No, not here. It wasn't here. It was when you get into the base. When you get into the base, that's when it started to dip terribly. I mean, it's still dipping. I don't want that shit to hit anything below 60. We can't even get 60 FPS in 2025? Come on now, bro. None of that makes sense. So that must be of a elder dragon doing that. Look at this shit. It's at 50. This is terrible, man. This is terrible, bro. I'm sorry. You know what's crazy? By the time we hit the 60 series, if they make a 60 series, right? I wonder if the FPS is going to get any better, or is it always going to sit on an average of like 70? Like if 70 is going to be like the acceptable number. You know what I'm saying? Like, are we going to get like a cyberpunk kind of... I don't want to do frame generation, bro. Should we do frame generation just for the hell of it? Just so you guys can see? I always turn frame generation off. I personally feel like as though frame generation is a cop-out. Ooh, use AI to fake your frames. You feel that? That's 100. That's 100. That's 100,000 FPS you got there, and you're literally playing fucking Tetris. Actually, that would make sense. Like right here, bro, I would expect the FPS to explode. Right? In areas where there's not you know, like you're not looking at things in the distance and it's closer, you would expect your FPS to skyrocket. So what this is telling me, and I could be completely wrong, is that it's loading way too much for the engine to handle. That's just what I think. It is better now than what it was before, because before it was at like 15, right? Is this a spot where it started hitting, push that little kid, fuck them kids? The FPS was like 15 here, or was it where you was eating food?
Welcome.
Was it here?
Please
Go ahead.
eat.
Help yourselves.
Like, it's funny as hell because even in Monster Hunter, they make any food that you normally wouldn't eat look amazing. But I hate to shit on you. I hate to shit on you if this is your type of food. I literally saw see, now that's better. I literally saw what was it? It was like a plate and then it had like drops of different food. I think it was like Ethiopian food. And it's like, look, I get it. That's your type of food. For someone like me, it looks like shit. It looks like assorted shit drops. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, that's cool, but where's frame generation? Let's turn it on. Benchmark again. It was like, you know, whatever. Can you imagine Monster Hunter literally doing the same exact thing? They're putting like this basically Ethiopian food and they're making it look all nice and it's like it's still shit. I don't care if it's upscaled shit. It's still shit.
As soon as we find a good spot, we can get things set up and ready to go. And then we can get started.
This is gonna be great.
You bet.
Yeah.
I hope we find them soon.
See, this is what I don't trust, bro. I don't trust this.
Look!
Our depart!
Aye!
What do you guys think?
Many.
Somebody educate me about frame generation and don't be mean about it. Just keep it a buck with me. I respect people that keep it a buck with me more. Just be like, yo, frame generation is just something we have to deal with. But you know what I'm saying? You're not wrong. Sometimes that shit does lie to you. That shit right here is saying my shit is at 140 FPS. I don't like it, bro. Here's my thing. I'm not exactly sure when it comes down to is it really 120 frames or is it just saying it's 120 frames right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know your experiences with frame generation. Does it actually affect performance or is it just lying to you to show you more FPS? Have I been handicapping myself the entire time? Can we build a time machine to go back in time to assassinate the dude who decided to make frame generation? It's the only way to stop Judgment Day. Don't let Skynet win. And here I was thinking that this computer was too old.
Nice.
Uh-oh. But they, I believe they showed a trailer that showed, and this was something I was wondering, do they have ice water monsters? Because we're seeing that this game, all that they've been showing is that it takes place in a desert, right? And so it's kind of like in World, they didn't have an ice biome until Iceborne, and that was a DLC that didn't come out until like 3-4 years later, right? So they showed a trailer for an ice biome in Wilds, which is that's good. That's real good. We need all the elements. This is going to be the first official Monster Hunter game that they're going all in on. All right, so it's saying 80. It hasn't dipped into the 70s. That's a good look. I don't know. I just think relying on frame generation is not my cup of tea. And now the question is, how well does this do on a how well does this do on a ROG Ally? That's what I want to know. For the handhelds, right? Because you want to take Monster Hunter on the go. The Steam Deck can run Monster Hunter at 60 FPS. I got into a fight with a Monster Hunter group on, I think, Twitter, which I just was asking some questions, and they all jumped on me and found out it was a Troon group. Because of course it is. For you to join any group, you have to accept the LGBT bullshit. And I was saying to them, after an update, me and my friend couldn't play Monster Hunter on the Steam Deck. And it was like, oh, that's not true. You have to re-verify and all of this other shit. Come find out, Capcom silently deleted outfits, so you couldn't get them anymore. You couldn't buy them from the store, and it actually affected something with verifying not your files. Well, technically your files, but it fucked with some people's game. So they couldn't launch the game because the game, I don't know, probably thought it was stolen or some shit. So you couldn't go online or anything like that. You couldn't start the game because it was checking. And they updated it like 2 days later. Oh, did you see that shit? All right, there we go. And then somebody said I was a liar and Monster Hunter is not at 60 FPS on a Steam Deck. Come on now. Move, kid. He pushed the kid on purpose.
Welcome.
Nasty, bro. Y'all not even using gloves. Y'all motherfuckers are unsanitary as hell. Don't matter how good you make that pita bread look. That white stuff. I saw you milking that weird animal.
Poor thing.
All right, well that is it with on high. I just did three different type of settings, right? One on high, one on custom settings that I would mess with, which is a little better, and one with frame generation. Take that as you will. And you got my specs there. Catch you guys next time.